Page 82, Carnival of Venice. On page 82, we're going to talk a little more about 6/8 time. I've already said that one of the ways 6/8 time can be felt is in really 2 beats per measure. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, a lot of times the music, they will beam or bar the notes so that it feels that way. You'll get 3/8 note equivalent to 3/8 note or 3 beats to 1 beam or bar. I'm not sure I'm explaining it very well. They give examples up there where you have an 8th note, an 8th rest, and an 8th note. Well, those 3 things put together is 3 counts because an 8th rest gets a count. So they beam those 8th notes together even though there's an 8th rest in the middle. That's fine. It just helps you get the rhythm, keep the rhythm going, and helps you see it and interpret it better. When it's interpreted that way, you put a little natural accent at the first of each of those barred or beamed notes. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get this. You ba 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 ba. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And that's the feel of this piece. Now it goes faster than that, sort of, but I'm not going to go faster than that. And then when we do it together, we're going to go really slow. You can speed it up on your own. And there's all kinds of recordings of this available for orchestra. You're not going to find this arrangement probably unless you have the CD and you can listen to it. But you don't need it. Once you hear how that piece goes, even with an orchestra, you can take that same feel and put it to here. That's really about all we're doing here. Now there's a few things I want to point out in the right hand that's going on, because the music is getting trickier and I'm not always pointing out these things in this book as much as I did in the other books. So I guess I should do that, huh? That's in the key of F. It's got 1 flat, a B flat, so all the B's are flatted. You're starting out at the beginning simply enough with the 4th finger, rest, rest. It's up to you. You can connect the notes that don't have a rest between them. That's fine if you can do that. Keep in mind the left hand's all staccato. That'll be fun. Now when we get down to the 3rd line, it starts out with the F. You have the double bars, means we're going into another section. Well, they want you to start with the 4th finger. You could start with the 5th finger and then play the 2nd C with the 4th finger. That's fine. That's a good one. My point is, on that 2nd measure, the 3rd line, you're coming down, and then you're going to put 4th finger on the 2nd A. This is an important concept in music. You're going to run across this a lot. When you have a series of notes, a pattern, and it repeats itself going up or down, many times we will use the same fingering for each iteration or each happening of that pattern. So here we got 3 notes going down, then we got another 3 notes going down. So we're going to use the same fingering, 4, 3, 2. And then on the next measure, I recommend a 2, 3. This piece moves, and when a piece gets fast, it helps if you can develop the habit of using different fingers on the same note, on repeated notes. So in here, 3rd line down, going from the 2nd measure to the 3rd measure, you have 2 Fs. The first F is with the 2nd finger, but if you can play the 2nd F with the 3rd finger, it actually helps and is easier once you get the idea, rather than using the same finger each time. The last line, you're starting out with the A, holding it down for 5 counts, and then you have the 2 C's. Again, they say 4th finger on both. It's fine, but I still think you could scrunch up a little and put 5th finger on it if you wanted to, on the first one, and then 4th finger on the 2nd one. And just like you did in the line before. You might try those out. Just take a pencil and pencil in those fingerings for you. Now the left hand is pretty simple. You're just doing broken chords, but the first 2 lines and 1 measure, they're staccato. Finger staccato, just a light staccato. Then when you get down to the 3rd line, starting on the 2nd measure, It's legato. And I just rock it. Just let the wrist do its thing, right? And it'll rock itself. I'm exaggerating it, but that's the idea. And all I'm doing is transferring the weight in my hand and arm from one finger to the other, is why it's rocking like that. When you play the last measure of the third line, left hand, you're here, they say here. I don't like putting a thumb on that. I'd probably use second finger, so I could do a 5, 2, 3. But you can do with thumb if you want. But when you get from this note to the next note, that's the first note of the last line, they want your fifth finger on the F, and you scrunch up, you can do that, but it's unnecessary. You can do the first F with fourth finger, and then a 2-1, and then do 5-3-1. So the first three notes is 4-2-1, and then 5. It just helps you get from here to here. Let's do this slowly together. It's going to get tricky when you got staccato and that other stuff going. Because we want to hear the rest in the right hand. Rest, 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 rest. So, so watch out on that. Very slowly, one hand at a time if you have to, but let's try this. Now, I put the metronome on 80, but it's beating eighth notes, and this really, really is slow. 1, 2, 3. Because I need you to concentrate on the articulation, the connecting the notes or the staccato or whatever you're doing. You can speed it up on your own. It has a pickup beat, so I'm going to give us 5 counts. Let's try this out together. 1, 2, 3, ready, go.